You know that feeling of being totally swamped with work, but like not actually making any real progress, like you're just
Yeah.
spinning your wheels?
Yeah.
That's what we're tackling today.
Okay.
And I recently read this book, The Effective Executive,
Hmm.
and it really got me thinking about how we can achieve like real impact in our work.
I see. Yeah.
So in this deep dive, we're going to explore some super powerful principles for becoming truly effective. And trust me, this is not your typical productivity pep talk.
Yeah. It's really about understanding the difference between efficiency and effectiveness.
Okay, so break that down for me. What's the difference?
So efficiency is about doing things right,
Right.
but effectiveness is about doing the right things.
Okay.
It's subtle,
Yeah.
but it makes all the difference.
So it's not just about speed or like checking off a million tasks from our to-do list.
Right.
It's about making sure those tasks actually matter.
Exactly. It's about focusing our energy on what truly moves the needle.
And I guess that's where prioritizing comes in.
Absolutely. Prioritizing is key.
So how do we know what to prioritize? Like everything feels important.
Well, imagine two people lost in a jungle, right?
Okay, yeah.
One person's just hacking away with a machete, feeling productive, but going in circles.
They're busy.
Right. But they're not getting anywhere. The other person stops, climbs a tree, and gets perspective.
Ah, I see.
That's what effective people do.
They take a step back
Yeah.
before diving in.
They evaluate before they act. They ask, why am I doing this?
Makes sense.
Is this really the most important thing right now?
It's so easy to get caught up in the whirlwind of just like reacting to everything
Right?
and not actually being intentional with our time.
Exactly. And that brings us to another crucial aspect of effectiveness.
Okay.
Time management.
Ooh, time management. I always feel like there's not enough of it.
Yeah. Well, let me ask you this.
Sure.
How do you think a billionaire manages their time?
That's a good question. I would imagine their calendar's packed.
Right. Every minute scheduled.
Exactly.
But here's the thing.
Okay.
Think about someone like Warren Buffett.
Mm-hmm.
You know, one of the most successful investors of all time.
Mm-hmm.
His calendar is actually surprisingly open.
Really?
He understands that to make high-impact decisions,
Mm-hmm.
you need space for strategic thinking,
That's right.
not just constant activity.
So it's not about cramming every minute with tasks.
Exactly.
It's about being intentional with how you use your time.
It's about treating time like your most valuable asset, not something to be spent,
Okay.
but something to be invested.
That's powerful. But for those of us who aren't billionaires with personal assistants managing our schedules,
Right.
how can we practically manage our time better?
The first step is awareness.
Awareness of what?
Awareness of where your time is actually going. Try tracking your time for a week. You might be surprised by how much time you waste on things that don't really matter. I'm sure I would be, like scrolling through social media, getting sucked into email chains.
Exactly. Once you have that clear picture,
Yeah.
you can start being ruthless. Eliminate, delegate, or automate tasks whenever possible.
Ooh, ruthless. I like it.
And then, this is key.
Okay.
Schedule dedicated blocks of time for your most important work.
So like no distractions, pure focus.
Exactly. It's like treating your time as if it's worth $10,000 an hour.
Wow, that puts things in perspective. It makes you think twice about how you're spending each minute.
Exactly. It's a mindset shift from spending time to investing it. And this leads us to another important point. It's not just about effort, it's about contribution.
Okay, unpack that for me. I feel like we're always told to hustle, put in the hours, work hard.
Right. We glorify the hustle, but long hours don't guarantee results.
Yeah, that's true.
It's about asking yourself, is what I'm doing actually making a difference?
Am I actually contributing?
Exactly. Imagine a company where everyone's super busy, always running around, working late, but they're not actually achieving their goals.
It's like that saying, working hard on the wrong things is like running up the wrong ladder.
Exactly. It doesn't matter how fast you climb if you're headed in the wrong direction.
So how do we make sure we're focused on the right things,
Yeah.
the things that actually move the needle?
Here's the interesting part.
Okay.
Instead of trying to be good at everything, focus on what you're already great at. What are your strengths?
Wait, so you're saying we should ignore our weaknesses? I thought we were supposed to work on those to become well-rounded.
That's a common misconception. Think about it this way. If Steve Jobs had spent all his time trying to become a better programmer,
Yeah.
would he have revolutionized the tech industry?
Probably not. He focused on his vision, his design sense, his ability to connect with people, and he built a team that complemented his strengths.
Exactly. You don't have to be good at everything, just exceptional at something.
So figure out your superpower
Yeah.
And then delegate the rest.
Exactly. Delegate what you're not good at. Free yourself up to focus on what you excel at.
This is starting to feel liberating. It's like giving ourselves permission to let go of the need to be good at everything.
Right?
It reminds me of that feeling of going to a buffet and piling your plate so high that you can't even enjoy anything.
I love that analogy. It's the same with productivity. We try to do too much, spread ourselves too thin,
Yeah.
and end up accomplishing very little. So here's a powerful question to ask yourself.
Okay.
If I weren't already doing this, would I start doing it now? If the answer is no,
Then what?
maybe it's time to eliminate it.
So it's about being selective,
Yeah,
choosing our top priorities, and then ruthlessly cutting out the rest.
exactly. Think about Steve Jobs slashing Apple's product line down to just a handful of core products. That focus was key to their success.
That's a great example. It's about quality over quantity, depth over breadth. So once we've made those tough choices about what to focus on,
Right.
it's decision time.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Decisions are crucial.
But we make so many decisions every day.
I know, right?
How do we make sure we're making the right ones? The ones that actually move us forward?
That's a great question. Not all decisions are created equal.
Okay.
Some are reversible, low risk, like what to have for lunch.
Right, those are the ones we tend to overthink.
Exactly. But then there are decisions that have lasting consequences. Those require careful consideration, gathering information, weighing the options.
So it's about recognizing which decisions truly matter and then focusing our mental energy on those.
Exactly. But here's the catch.
Okay.
A decision without action is meaningless.
So true. You can think about something forever, but if you don't actually do anything about it,
Exactly. It's not enough to just think about it. You have to make it happen.
action.
Think of JFK's commitment to putting a man on the moon.
Wow, yeah.
It wasn't just a bold statement.
Right?
It was followed by action. Roles were assigned, deadlines were set, progress was tracked relentlessly.
So it's about turning decisions into reality.
Hmm.
How do we make that leap from idea to execution?
There's a simple framework. Attach a name to it, who's accountable, set a deadline by when will it happen, and then crucially, follow up. Don't assume things are getting done, verify it.
So it's about creating a system of accountability, making sure those decisions don't just get lost in the shuffle.
Exactly. It's about making things happen. And all of this ties into a crucial principle,
Okay?
which is...
Thinking long term.
Yeah.
Welcome back. Last time we were talking about prioritizing and managing your time.
Like it's worth $10,000 an hour.
Right. And focusing on your contribution over just effort, working from your strengths and narrowing your focus.
And making decisions and actually taking responsibility for those decisions.
Exactly. And we touched on the power of thinking long term.
Thinking beyond just the immediate, right. It feels like we live in a world of like instant gratification and overnight success stories.
It's so easy to get caught in that trap, right?
Yeah.
But real effectiveness is about playing the long game.
Imagine if Jeff Bezos had caved to that early pressure to show profits at Amazon.
Yeah.
He might have missed out on building one of the most dominant companies in history.
I mean, he had this vision, this belief in what Amazon could become.
Totally.
And he was willing to sacrifice those short-term gains for that long-term success.
Exactly. It takes discipline to resist that urge for immediate results, you know?
It does.
So ask yourself,
Okay.
will this matter in 5 years, 10 years?
Am I building something lasting or just patching holes?
Exactly. Those are powerful questions. It's like shifting your perspective from what can I get now to what am I creating for the future?
I like that. And that makes me think about how we communicate our vision, our ideas.
Oh, yeah. Communication is huge E.
It is.
It's one of the most powerful tools we have, right?
Absolutely.
Think about someone like Elon Musk.
Okay.
His ability to articulate his vision, to inspire people, to get them on board with his ideas, it's just incredible.
He's not just a brilliant engineer, he's a master communicator.
Yeah.
It's like his ideas wouldn't have the same impact if he couldn't convey them effectively.
Exactly. Think about Steve Jobs introducing the iPod. 1,000 songs in your pocket. Simple, powerful, aspirational.
Right.
He didn't get bogged down in the technical details. He just connected with people.
So how do we become better communicators? That's definitely something I could improve on.
Okay, well, first of all, know your audience.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Who are you talking to? What do they care about?
Right. What's the best way to connect with them?
Exactly. Tailor your message. Make it relevant to their needs and interests.
Okay. So tailor the message. What else?
Keep it simple.
Keep it simple.
Okay.
No jargon, no rambling. Just get to the point.
Right.
Be concise. Think of it like Twitter. If you can't say it in 280 characters, it's probably too wordy.
I like that analogy. It forces you to be clear and impactful with your words.
Exactly. And finally, make it a two-way street.
Oh, okay.
Communication isn't just about talking, it's also about listening.
Oh, right, of course. Ask questions, get feedback, be open to different perspectives.
So it's a dialogue, not a monologue.
Yeah.
It's about building those relationships,
Yeah.
fostering collaboration,
Yeah.
and making sure everyone feels heard and understood.
Exactly. It's about creating an environment where ideas can flow freely and people feel empowered to contribute their best thinking. And you know what? All of this leads us to our final and perhaps most crucial principle,
You did it.
developing future leaders.
Oh, leadership.
Yeah.
Such an important topic.
Yeah.
But what does it actually mean to be an effective leader? There are so many different styles and approaches out there.
I know, right?
It can be overwhelming.
Well, here's the thing.
Okay.
It's not about wielding power or commanding authority. True leadership is about empowering others, building a legacy that extends beyond yourself.
That makes sense.
Think about Warren Buffett again, right?
Okay, yeah.
He's not just focused on his own success.
Right.
He's mentoring the next generation of leaders at Berkshire Hathaway. He's ensuring that company thrives long after he's gone.
He's thinking long-term, building something that will last.
Exactly. And that's what effective leadership is all about. It's about recognizing that your greatest impact comes from the people you develop, the leaders you create.
So how do we do that? How do we actually develop those future leaders?
Okay, well, it starts with identifying talent early on.
Okay.
Look for individuals who show initiative, who think independently, who have that hunger to learn and grow.
They've got that spark.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those are the seeds of future leadership. And it's not just about technical skills, right?
Right. It's about those intangible qualities that make someone a natural leader. The drive, the passion.
Exactly. The willingness to step up and take ownership.
So how do we nurture that?
Well, don't be afraid to give them real responsibility. Delegate meaningful tasks, challenge them to stretch their abilities, and create those opportunities for them to shine.
It's about letting go of some control, right?
It is.
Trusting your team
Yeah.
and empowering them to make decisions.
Exactly. And that can be scary for some leaders.
I bet. It's a big step to take.
It is. It requires a shift in mindset. You know,
Yeah.
you're not just managing tasks anymore, you're developing people. And finally, teach them how to think, not just what to do.
Oh, I like that. So instead of micromanaging every detail,
Yeah.
we guide them through that process of decision-making and problem-solving
Exactly.
and thinking strategically.
You got it. Empower them to become independent thinkers,
Yeah.
capable of leading and innovating on their own.
That's how you create a legacy that truly lasts.
Exactly. It's about building something bigger than ourselves, a legacy that will continue to inspire and impact the world long after we're gone.
Welcome back to our final deep dive on effectiveness. We've talked about principles and mindset shifts,
Yeah.
the importance of long-term thinking, and even like developing future leaders.
Right, right.
But how do we actually put all of this into action? I mean, it's one thing to understand these concepts,
Yeah.
but how do we actually live them?
That's the key, right? Turning knowledge into action. It's about turning these concepts into habits and routines.
Yeah.
Systems that become almost automatic.
So it's not about relying on willpower or motivation.
Yeah, just that. Those things can be fleeting.
Right.
It's about building structures that support us,
Yeah.
even when we're not feeling particularly effective.
I like that. So it's like we need a blueprint for effectiveness, a set of like systems and routines to guide our actions.
Exactly. Think of it like building a house. You wouldn't just start building without a plan, would you?
Definitely not. That could get messy.
Right. You need a blueprint to make sure everything fits together. And a great place to start building that blueprint for effectiveness is your morning routine.
Oh, morning routines. I've heard so much about those.
They can be game changers.
But I'll be honest, I'm not a morning person. Does it really make that much of a difference?
I think so. Imagine starting your day with a sense of purpose and calm rather than feeling rushed and overwhelmed.
Okay, yeah, I can see the appeal of that.
Yeah.
So what does an effective morning routine actually look like?
Well, it's highly personal,
Right.
but there are some common elements. Start with something that nourishes your mind and body, whether it's meditation or journaling or exercise or even just enjoying a cup of coffee in silence.
So just creating some space for yourself
Yeah.
before the craziness of the day begins.
Exactly. And then take a few minutes to review your goals. What are the most important things you want to accomplish today?
It's like that climbing the tree moment,
Right.
first thing in the morning.
Exactly. It helps you stay focused on the big picture. And once you have that clarity, you can start planning your day, prioritizing your tasks, and making sure your actions are aligned with your overall goals.
So it's about being proactive instead of reactive.
Yeah.
Starting your day with intention. But a morning routine is just one example, right? What are some other systems we can create?
Oh, you can create systems for everything. Managing your email, making decisions, delegating tasks, even saying no.
Yeah.
The key is to start small. Pick one area where you feel the most friction and experiment.
So find what works for you, not just trying to copy someone else's system perfectly.
Exactly. And remember, systems aren't meant to be rigid or restrictive. They're tools to support your effectiveness. So be flexible, adjust them as needed.
Finding that balance between structure and adaptability.
That's it.
So as we wrap up our deep dive on effectiveness,
Yeah.
what's one final piece of advice you would give to our listeners, for those who are eager to become more effective?
I would say remember that effectiveness is an ongoing journey.
Okay.
It's not a destination you reach.
Mm-hmm.
It's a way of life, a constant process of learning, growing, and refining your approach.
And it's not about perfection. It's about progress, right?
Yeah.
We're all going to have those days where we feel scattered and unproductive.
Oh, absolutely.
And that's okay.
The key is to keep learning, keep experimenting, and keep striving to make a difference.
Because the world needs your unique talents,
Yeah.
your contributions. And on that note, we've reached the end of our deep dive into effectiveness.
It's been a great conversation.
I hope this has given you some valuable insights
Yeah.
and practical tools to take action,
Remember, it's
Yeah.
not about doing more.
right?
It's about doing the right things, the things that truly matter.
So ask yourself,
Yeah.
am I spending my time or am I investing it?
That's the question.
The choice is yours. Make it count. Thanks for joining us on the deep dive. We'll see you next time.